I'm a parent volunteer also. It is about maybe 8 to 10 years old. Yeah. I think it was built in stages, just probably that's, you know, there was a small garden and then
they added to it.
Upon.
Okay, so you guys inherited the garden.
Yes, yes.
Nice. Okay.
There was a parent volunteer before us who kind of put a lot of the work to put it in, and then his kids had moved on, so he's not here anymore.
Okay. Okay. So how long have each of you been working in the gardens?
Just this past year, me and Aaron longer than that a little bit.
I kind of came in, I noticed there wasn't really much currently active for a couple of years, and so I kind of came in to start a recess garden program in the spring of 2019. And then we expanded that and made it bigger.
What we're planning on doing on this other side here is having that kind of be dedicated to food, and it's still kind of in the works, but food crops, tomatoes and zucchini and peas, and hopefully some things that'll be ripe in the spring so that kids can actually eat them before the school year gets out too. So.
And then we have our picnic tables here. You can fit one classroom full of students here. We're working on some outdoor classroom furniture so that there can be a secondary type of seating arrangement available for a classroom. We have a kiosk behind you where we put up pictures of the kids in the garden, just kind of show what we've been up to. This is more of the food gardening. On this side we have several mature, large, well-producing blueberry bushes. We have a raspberry patch and we have a strawberry patch. The strawberry patch was really successful this year. We have an herb garden that we just put in this winter, and it's got several kinds of herbs. Then we have a pollinator garden with lots of flowers, and then we have a wildlife container water garden that we've had some tadpoles in. I've seen dragonflies on it. I've seen birds getting drinks, bees getting drinks.
We started a program during the winter months because the weather's so yucky that we actually grew mushroom kits inside in the classrooms. We got those from Back to the Roots, and so kids got to grow a kit and harvest it and try it and taste it. So that was more of an indoor project that didn't use the garden as much, but then we get out here during recess too when the weather's better.
Yeah, so we invite groups of students into the garden space. Unfortunately, the recess playground is not within sight distance of the garden, so students are not at leisure to come to the garden unless there's parent volunteers here to go with them. But it's so popular that we often have more students than we can even bring back, so we're just trying to make that include as many students as possible. Last summer we did garden gatherings once a week where families would get together and have make salad with some of the food that we grew and just basically do regular maintenance. We haven't been able to do that this year because of COVID. And we've done various crafts. We were going to do some crafts at our school carnival that we had prepared ready to go, but that had to get canceled. One of the things that we do is we have the kids make little bouquets, and then we put signs on them, and sometimes they'll get to put a teacher name that they want to send the bouquet to. And then some of them go at the front desk, and then we go around and deliver them, and that's really fun. We did herb bundles for the Thanksgiving baskets that we give out to students. We did this, I did just for a couple classes, because some teachers, I think we had 5 teachers that adopt beds for their classrooms, and I was going to work with 2 of them to do like that seed glue seed paper thing, where the kids would make the seed papers and then they would go set them on the space. And so the 2 teachers I was going to do that with, when school shut down, I did the little garden kits like this. So they were able to come by school and socially distance pick up a little kit. It has a seed paper in it and some instructions and then some soil to sprinkle over. And this is basically how they're turning out, which obviously we didn't harvest the radish in time, but I got some good feedback on that. So that was at least something we could do for some kids despite having to close the garden. Well, the one I have set out right here that's not set up in the garden right now, just since there's not, I'm just worried about maybe vandalism with some of the smaller kinds, but this is a bug bed. So we usually set aside our least productive bed, which is right underneath a tree, as a bug bed. And the kids paw through it and find their favorite is worms and roly-polies. And a lot of times it will literally be the first time that they've ever had the courage to hold any kind of critter without screaming, and just to see the pride of discovery and like bravery on their faces and just how fun that is. So I have like just signs that I got like this kit on Etsy. Somebody made these neat little, like, I didn't make these, I just printed them and then stapled them onto some wood so they can kind of find like centipede, and then they can read a little bit about it. So that's a lot of fun. But some of the other signage, like some of the signage I have put in the summer is kind of a self-guided system because we don't have any planned programming or group gatherings allowed. There's still quite a lot of families coming through and individual community members coming through the garden. It's a important part of the community still, and there's always people here. So we've put a lot of things just designating like, what can we do here? Like in the herb garden, you know, how to make herb tea, and then tried to be really clear about what's available for harvest and what's not. So like, you know, the blueberries will say, please just pick a couple handfuls and leave plenty for others. And then some of the things that aren't ready for harvest have signs that say like, don't pick us yet, we're not ready. Like we have a sign showing like how to harvest the basil so people don't just yank at the plant. And then in order to keep more people like eyes and ears for any signs of vandalism, which we have had, or you know, problems with the irrigation system, we have 3 school families that have adopted beds. So they come, they each have a day that they come and they just check everything out and take care of their own gardens. Only bumblebees visit the bee balm, and the honeybees visit the milkweed. So they're all coming in, and all the flowers are pink. Oh, here's a bumblebee right here. And the only bee that will be on the bee balm are the bumblebees, and the only bee on the milkweed is the honeybees. So they just seem to have a strong preference one way or the other. We have drip, which is wonderful. It's amazing. And there's a timer that we have set for an hour every other day, and it's a little bit of work and coordination to figure out how to get that going every spring with the school district. There's like one irrigation person for all of Evergreen, but we got it going and it seems to be working well.
Basically storage for all of the tools for the garden, shovels, rakes, all of the like supplies that we use for recess garden. It's nice to have them right there so that we can get them out.
Do you have wheelbarrows?
We had 2 smaller plastic ones and they kind of just fell apart. Okay. So mostly we just carry stuff back and forth.
Okay, it's a pretty small haul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
have any like yard waste service, so a wheelbarrow full of anything is a little more than we can manage to take home in our cars to our own yard waste bins anyway. So
Okay.
we just use buckets. Just take a bucket home.
Okay, so that's how you manage compost, is you take it home to your home compost?
Yeah, compost has been tricky here. I've talked to a few teachers that have tried to set one up, and we've had rodent issues, and it's kind of difficult to keep it safe. But I kind of employ a little bit of a chop and drop system when I'm personally weeding, and I just tuck stuff under wherever I can, and just it goes back into the soil.
I mean, I think we get a lot of families coming here, families that live here, families that have, you know, running practice, or families that just are passing by that like to come and check out the garden and see what's new and what's growing and pick flowers. Kind of just a place for their kids to explore and wander.
Awesome.
And I think right now it's a way to keep connected with this, like keep the school connected to the community. Like people can bring their kids here and they can feel that sense of connection, even though there's such a distance between the time that they were actually here.
Yeah.
Gosh, how to narrow it down.
You have lots?
Oh, I mean, I feel like there's lots of moments like that.
Oh, good.
Like a lot of times I'll be here and there'll be a family that came that their child is like, you know, pulling them over like to the exact plant that they planted at recess gardening, or
And they can remember.
like, yeah, or especially the bug bed. They'll just go, oh, you gotta come, like they love to dig around in there. And then anytime any kids would see me in the school, they would like, oh, is it recess gardening today? Like, it just, they really love it. It just, the enthusiasm, I think, to me is the aha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that the kids just really seem to enjoy it. They're always really excited when they get to come, and on the flip side, they're kind of sad when they don't get to come because we don't have enough parent volunteers to take that many kids that day, but they really love it.
So on a personal note, I have a child who really struggles in school with paying attention and getting along and focus, and when he's in the garden with me, if I tell him to do something like find all the roly-polies or look for all the white colored agates in the gravel or something like that, and his mind can just calmly focus on that for a very long period of time with joy, and you know, the nature part of the garden just triggers something in him that just calms his soul, and I think that it's really, really important that kids get a chance to be outdoors during school.
Yeah. And do you have teachers bring their classes out regularly?
Depending on the teacher, yes. I've seen quite a few classes coming out here. One of the more fun ones I saw was there was a teacher that brought his class out to have them find various shapes, and he would give them a shape to look for, be it like rectangles, spirals, ovals, and then he had a nature notebook, and the students would draw pictures of the shapes and designs that they were finding in the garden, and that was really fun to watch. Like, I just wanted to just watch them. It was so fun.
We get our money from the PTA, and we have, I think it's $1,000 a year is our PTA budget. It'll probably be less in future because we've had to cancel our big fundraiser this year, but that's where our money comes from.
So this is just a random bin of like various wooden blocks and like you know, little building supplies that we put out. Like, we put this out underneath a tree that doesn't grow, and like nothing grows under it, so it's just kind of loose dirt. And we just set it out, and it's just like a station where kids can, you know, build things, like make little weird sculptures. They can make little houses, and just like make a village if they want to, like all different sizes of things. There's like, we've kind of lost some of it and along the time. But the thing is, if you lose pieces, it's just natural and it just goes into the ground. So that's our dig and build. And we usually put up some shovels and rakes too, so that we can kind of make a road in the dirt. And